Everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. And today I wanted to show you a card that I created. This is a sneak peek out of the upcoming Stampin' Up! Annual catalog. So that the new catalog launches May the 3rd, 2022. And it's just such an amazing catalog. I think I say that all the time, but this really is. I love this catalog. And this particular bundle called Wisteria Wishes is one of my absolutely favorite bundles. I used to live in a town called, or a city, New Westminster, British Columbia, which was the original capital. And you would see wisteria all over the place in New West because the old homes and even growing on the sides of roads where there probably used to be homes, but there aren't any longer. So I knew this was a bundle that I absolutely had to have when we were able to order it as a demonstrator. This was part of the pre-order. All right, let me switch over. I'll show you the card and then I'll show you everything you're going to need to make this card. Now, as I go through this, the instructions for this card, the measurements, and the supply list will be on my blog, and the link to my blog will be underneath this video. So you'll be able to go out and find it. And if you do have questions while you're here, just leave a comment, or if you're on my blog, leave a comment over there. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel while you're here. If it's the first time you found me, thank you for finding me and welcome. And if you've come back, thank you so much for joining me again. All right, so this is the card that I created. It is a fancy fold. I don't know if there's a name for this, but you open it like this, and then it flips up like this. So just a bit of a different fancy fold idea. All right, so let me show you the Wisteria Wishes bundle. Oops. All right, so here it is. It's a photopolymer stamp set with 10 different stamps. Some great stamped images, the wisteria, the leaves. It's definitely a viney plant, so you can use this to create a vine across the top. Some really nice sentiments and some interesting font. This is kind of a new font. I haven't seen this for a while. This kind of, to me, looks like corn stalks. So I'm interested to see if I start to see some demonstrators creating corn out of this. I'm not sure how, but I have made a card using these stalks and turning these upside down, and the flower looks like a grape hyacinth. So change it up a little bit and you can create some different flowers with this stamp set. All right, let's bring what we need. Okay, so what you need is a piece of cardstock that is cut 4 1/4 by 11. Oh gosh, hopefully this stays in focus. 4 1/4 by 11, and I've got it scored at 5 1/2. Now this is the second largest of the scallop contour dies, and so this is what you're gonna use to create your opening. And so I've just got this laid here, and I've got just a little bit of Post-it note tape that I'm holding it in place because I'm gonna bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. There we go. All right. And we're going to cut the opening. So before I've got it folded, I've got it scored but not folded. And so we're just going to cut that opening. You could use a stitch rectangle die if you've got it, or even other shapes if you wanted to. I'm using the scallop contours because I like this scallop edge on it. All right, so let's take my machine out. We're going to need it to cut flowers. Okay. That off gently. This is, I didn't say this, this is the new, this is the new Orchid Oasis color. This is one of the new in colors from Stampin' Up. It's kind of a periwinkle blue, cross between blue and a purple. It is just so pretty. So we've cut the opening out of the middle. Save this because you could even use this on the inside of your card. And then I'm going to grab my bone folder, and always, as I say, fold into the mountain, which is this raised line. So we're just going to fold on that score line and line it up and give it a good crease with the bone folder. So we've got the card base. Now I've got a piece of basic white cardstock, and I have cut this. Let me just measure. So this is 5 1/4 by 8. And we're going to score this at 4 inches. So this is going to be the inside of our card. All right, so again, we're going to, this is scored. This is the side I scored on. This is the raised line. So fold it on that raised line or the mountain and give it a good crease with your bone folder. Bring your card base back in. This is going to fit in like this. So I'm not going to adhere it down quite yet. What I want to do is I'm just going to use this. I'll just put that piece of Post-it note tape. What we're going to do is we're going to stamp our sentiment here in the right-hand corner. But I'm using my frame to align where I want it so that I make sure I get it in the picture frame. So I'm stamping it that says, "To a friend who's all kinds of wonderful," and just stamp straight up and down. And now we've got our sentiment in the corner. That's really it for stamping for the card base. But while we've got our stamp pad open, we're going to stamp a couple of other things. I've got some scraps. We're going to stamp, these are the dangling hyacinths. So we're just going to do one of these. You could do multiples if you want, but I'm just going to do one at the top of my card. And I'm stamping in the Orchid Oasis. And while we're stamping, let's stamp the leaves. And I'm stamping the leaves in Pear Pizzazz. So this is that stamp set that has got the leaves, as well as it actually has stems that fit the leaves, or these the flowers dangle off of. So I didn't realize that when I first started stamping with this, that there is a way to make this line up. All right, so we've stamped that in Pear Pizzazz. So that's it for stamping for this card. So let's bring in the dies. So we have the dies. So we have the dies to cut the wisteria. We have the dies to cut this stem piece. And also, while we're at, so there are dies to cut the other pieces that these are solid pieces that you don't have to stamp. And I've already gone ahead and cut out these 2 dangly pieces in Orchid Oasis. Those are 2 of the wisteria flowers. That's from these. I've also gone ahead and cut out this vine using this piece out of crumb cake. And then there are other ones. This is one we'll cut out those stalks that I talked about in the leaves. So really nice set of dies. Okay, so just going to take this piece of Post-it note tape, and I just like to use it. You could use a piece of Post-it note. I just like to keep this in position. I'm excited because there is a new magnetic plate coming for the big Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in the new catalog, and I am so excited that it's coming back. So let's bring the machine back in, and we will cut these pieces out. Let's get this back in position. Just have to stand up here. Kind of shifted my filming today, because normally I stand up when I stamp and film my videos, but today, because I did a class yesterday, I kind of moved things around. So all right, got our pieces cut. We'll take our machine and put it off to the side. Okay, so here's our wisteria. And here's our leaves. So, and then like I said, I also went and cut these out in advance. These are just solid pieces I cut from Orchid Oasis. So you could cut them out of a different color if you wanted to. I actually made a card and I cut them out of this silver foil that is the color. There's three kinds of silver in the foil package, and one of them is quite a purple color, and I thought it would go nicely with this, and it does. So you can switch it up and change the colors that you use. Okay, so let's get this piece adhered into our card. So I'm just going to use some liquid glue. You can use whatever your favorite adhesive is. So we'll just put this kind of aligned up in the center of our card, or in the inside of our card. Here we go. Press it down like that. Now we can decorate. So I've got this piece. This is the vine. So if you want to trim this, you can. I'm going to trim it a little bit because my vine isn't going to go all the way across. So I'm just going to take and trim off this, cut off a little piece of this. And now we can take, I'm going to use liquid glue again. You can use, if you have the adhesive sheets, you could actually put some adhesive sheets onto your cardstock before you cut, and that just makes it easier. You just peel the backing off. I've got my silicone mat so I don't get glue all over my grid paper, because I've been known to do that. All right, so let's just adhere that down. Okay, get glue on my fingers here. All right, so now let's bring my piece in. So we're going to make sure this is kind of just going to go across the top like this, but we're going to put our pieces of our other pieces of the flower underneath it. So I'm going to, if you do these in two colors, when you cut these pieces out, it looks really nice, but I'm going to just use them as kind of just to give some fullness to my card. I'm going to use glue dots just to stick these down and together. So let's just add a glue dot to the top, because they are dangling. They are dangling in our opening. So I don't want to glue them down. I just want to put a little bit of a glue dot on the top to stick it to the vine. Like that. And then we're going to stick these over top. Again, I'm going to use glue dots just because I only want to stick this to the top of my frame. And I'm not putting any glue on this third one. I'm just looking at my original card. I think I actually stamped off, so you could do that, but on this one I haven't stamped off. You could trim, these are the stems. So my stems are a little bit long, so I'm actually going to just trim these off, just because it kind of looks funny when you don't have the flower isn't actually on the stem. So I've just trimmed those stem pieces off, and we're just going to take and put some liquid glue just on the top, on this top leaf and along this stem, so that it will stick down, and the rest of it will kind of be free floating. So we're just going to put it over top like that and hold it down. There we go. So now I've kind of got this bulk at the top. And then the last thing I've got is, this is the what's it called? It's called metallic woven ribbon. This comes in, it's 1/8 inch, and it comes in all of the new in colors. So this is the Orchid Oasis, and I'm just going to tie my fingers work a little bow. There we go. a little bow like that. Cut it. This ribbon does fray, but you can use that fraying to your advantage. So you could actually take your pick tool and actually intentionally fray the ends of this. I'm not going to do that for this card, but it's very easy to do with the pointy end of your the pointy end of your take your pick tool. You can actually just take and run through the ends and just force it to fray. It looks very pretty. All right, so there's my card. So I've got the dangly wisteria in the corner, these leaves also dangling, and when you open it up, but this, now I haven't stamped anything in this. I've got this piece, and I think what I'm going to do is just adhere this in the center, and that will give me something to write on. And it doesn't waste this piece of Orchid Oasis paper that is just so pretty. That. If you wanted to do some stamping on the inside of your card, you absolutely could. All right, there you go. I have a friend who makes cards for her office to sign, and is always making her cards much bigger. And so this is an option. This fold is an option for that because it gives you lots of room when you open up that the basic white fold for lots of people to sign your cards. So that's another option if you're making cards that you need a whole bunch of people and room for a whole bunch of people to sign. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Again, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, just take the time to hit the subscribe button underneath the video. That way you'll get notified when I do post videos or go live, and hopefully you'll be able to join me. And if you're interested, the Stampin' Up! Catalog goes live on May the 3rd, so don't forget to check it out. It is amazing, and I know you're going to love all the products. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Happy stamping. Bye.